Okay, so I've decided I can't go on any further. I want to texturise through the mane, etc. more. Can't go through any further, forward any further, until I've sorted out this really annoying little dot in here that's missing pigment. Now, I've actually been in with this little microscope, and I'm going to pop the pictures up on the screen for you. So the areas around that white dot is what I'd say is normal pastel mat, and you can see it's just fibres that are sprayed onto a backing sheet, and the fibres then give us the texture, so it's never completely uniform, but is usually quite uniform. Now, rather than this being a chip in the paper, this little bit here is actually like a raised little bit. Right, I'm going to zoom in. It's so annoying, I can see it so visibly. I just have to move my camera as well, but I'm going to zoom in. As you can see, as I zoom in, just here, you can see it more and more. So I'm going to zoom right in now, refocus, and then we are going to tackle this. Okay, so here I've zoomed in on the little white dot as much as I can. Here's the little white dot here. And it might not look like much to you, but it is. And it is, no pigment is going to sit on the top of it, and I don't want to do it too much more, but basically no pigment is going to sit on there. There's nothing there for it to grip, which is really annoying. So I'm going to come in, you've seen me do this before, colour pencil, touch up texture. Now mine's quite an old bottle, and you can see it all kind of settles in the bottom, the little fibre, basically the texture stuff, it all needs mixing up. So I just need to give this a good shake. So I'll give this a good shake, get the little ball bearing rolling around in there, and then we'll come back and apply some, and then we're going to leave it to dry. Okay, so this has now had a good shake up. As you can see, it's now gone into like a milky white liquid. Okay. And what I'm going to do is literally just come in and I'm going to pop a little layer on here. It's just like a little nail varnish applicator. So all I want to do, I'm going to just sweep a little bit down over there. I only actually want it on that dot, but I'm just going to sweep it around just to make sure that I've got a nice even coating over there. And hope to goodness that when that dries, because at the moment, you can probably see, and I know you can't see in the light, if I can shine a light on it, let's have a look. Might be able to just see the light reflecting. No, you can't. Never mind. But basically, it's wet. There you go. It's wet in there, so you can just see. I just need that to dry, and hopefully it should dry nice and matte, and just allow us a little bit of texture to be able to get a tiny bit of pigment on there. So all I want is a tiny bit. I can put a second layer of the touch-up texture on there if I want to. I'll let this dry, I might even put a second layer on there, but what I'll do is I'll have a little feel with my pencil and see if I can just get a tiny bit of pigment. The only other option I've got is to come in and lift a strand away over that, but what I'm thinking is I at least need a tiny bit of pigment on there. It can't be super bright white. I've got other options I can use. I can come in and maybe add a tiny little touch of watercolour pencil in the soft grey that we're looking for, but then that means I haven't used just one pencil, even though all we're doing here is trying to remedy this little blemish on the pastel mat. So let that dry, and then we'll come back and see if it's going to take a little bit of pigment. Frustrating. Okay, so I've allowed that to dry. Now all I'm going to do is go in with a sharp pencil, but I'm not going to use the tip of the pencil. Let's just try and see if that has given us any coverage at all. And it doesn't look like it has. I can still feel that is just gliding over there, so that hasn't given us anything. So I'm going to do another coat before I give up on this. I'll just try with my little brush as well. All I want is just to get some pigment. It's just shining at me. It's just a real shiny little spot. I don't know if you can see the shine or not, but it's just shining back at me. So we'll try the brush and pencil once more. Brush this out again. It's great, this stuff. It does, you know, normally give me something. But if that area is, I don't know, there's just something contaminated it, something that is just not going to accept anything. The only other thing I can think of is I've got clear watercolour grounds, which I'm tempted to try. But the thing is, you can't try it on an area that's not here, not this area, because I don't know another area. Until you find the flaw, you don't know you've got the flaw. So I can't like just test all of my sheets by putting pigment all over them to try and find a flaw. So I've got to test it on this area. Okay, so that's another quite a thick layer I've just popped on there. Make sure that's just going to sit on that surface now. Lift it a little bit off. I'm going to leave like the globule sitting right on that little mark. Oh, it's annoying, it's annoying. So again, I'll just show you. You can just see there, got a lovely, real big splodge of the stuff on there. So let that dry, and we'll come back and try again. Okay, that's dry. Let's try again. So I'm just going to come in on that area itself. A little touch, and can you see? Just needed a second coat. So now I'm going to be very, very gentle with my brush. Just brush that out. But now that I've got that on there, very light touch I've gone in there with, just to repair that. I'm not going to touch that again, because what I need to do is I need to obviously work the other areas now around here. Build those up to kind of the same depth as this tone further in, and then I can lift away, but I've got to be very conscious of that exact little spot, that I don't come in, either try and overwork it or lift too much off on it. So yeah, so once again, the touch-up texture by brush and pencil, Aliana's little magic little potion in there, has worked. It just took a couple of layers, and I did say at the beginning, I think this is probably going to take a couple of layers, but it is worth trying after one layer to see if you can do the repair. But yeah, I'll be able to carry on with my piece now without that glaring little dot really annoying me. Here you go. So now I've got a real little dark little mark in there now where I've put extra pigment down. That's going to bug me now until I've got it all balanced out. Fabulous. So I hope you enjoyed that little tip, and if you ever get an issue on your pastel mat, then the touch-up texture is a way to go with it.